Welcome. I'm going to tell you a whole lot of things that you probably don't want to hear today. Basically, that's what I generally do these days. The first of which I'm going to start with is Bitcoin, and any system that actually works on a Bitcoin or other related blockchain is a proof of work system. Now, this is where people go wrong. Nothing long-term survives in any blockchain unless it means work. None of the ideas of ICOs or whatever else work unless they're about work. Not raising funds for the sake of raising funds, not anything else. Not hoodling. Hoodling is probably the most despicable, evil thing to do with Bitcoin. It is not saving, it is hoarding. Bitcoin is a payment system. It is cash. It is to be used to help people spend money. Those in places like South America, South Africa, places without banking, people can actually spend and use, not hoard so that in 10 years they can go, look, I've got more of something that I can hold. Spend, use, top up, review, save. You know, the thing that money's supposed to be used for. Exchange, trade. So, we're going to also talk about tokens. Now, everyone knows about financial instruments here. I'm sure everyone's heard about the ICO bits. Well, at the end of the day, if you're raising money, I don't give a rat's rectum what the hell you think you're doing. You are a security. I have master's degrees in law. I'm doing a PhD in law at the moment, banking, finance, MBA, blah, blah, blah. And I can tell you categorically, because I've also done all the securities trading laws, every single ICO out there is a security. Just because you've conned some lawyer into misunderstanding it doesn't make it any difference. But what they really should be used for is a new business model. Not how can we raise funds and deliver nothing. Not 1 year later, 47%, as it is now, of these token sales will be nothing. And that's what it right now is. 47% have nothing to show after a year, but wasted money. It is worse than .com back in the 90s. I lived through that, and this is worse. What we have is a way of actually opening up new technology, new ways of doing things. Not sitting on our asses and thinking people hand us stuff. We have a new service economy, a global service economy. Instead of owning everything, we can actually start fractionally owning things, using on demand. Imagine, instead of owning a car, when Google cars come, why would you want to own one? When, instead of having to pay for parking, the thing can pull up, drop you off, drive off, and service other people. That makes it more efficient. If that car is working basically 27 hours a day, around the clock, picking people up, dropping them off, putting pizzas in the back when it needs to do, not sitting in a garage, not parked in town, earning some garage operator $80 or £80 a day, that's what a token starts to do. When you can actually sell something, and when you can actually use it and have an economy that is based on this, that's the idea. What we want to create is an on-demand economy, a better than free model. Not like we see with Facebook or Twitter, where we pay for it by selling everything you own about yourself, where you have to pull down your pants and expose your ass to the world so that 20 years' time, everything you did as basically as a teenager will be remembered. I did a whole lot of shit as a teenager. I used to work in the gambling industry. Luckily, we didn't have Facebook. Trust me, there's lots of things from parties like some of the people here, Kelvin is around here somewhere, lots of parties I'm really glad that no one remembers. I mean, I actually went to a party back in the 90s where I ended up wearing fish in my ears and kissed Jim Morrison for some reason. I think it was about 6 bottles of champagne, but these things happen. Now, rather than having goods, we start to sell the experience. That's what this is about. Not how do we raise money by having a promise in the future. A token of something that you're going to do as a tradable token for the sake of trading. What is that? Basically, if we're going to be saying we're doing a new thing because it's a new thing, what are we delivering? Honestly, what is the experience we're giving to people? Why do we want this thing? Not because I want to line my pocket. At the end of the day, capital raising is to deliver something. Not because you can get nicer clothes or watches or anything like that, because you have to earn. This goes back to what I've been saying. Proof of work. If you want to play in this space long term, it's about work. My current law degree and thesis is about writing legislation for regulation and government. I'm basically working on that at the moment and we'll be issuing stuff. And I will help explain to governments how all of this is covered. So if you're just raising money because you think a security doesn't need to be regulated and code is law, which is absolute bullshit, law is law. I don't care what your contract is, it can be disputed. You try standing in front of a judge and telling him otherwise, and you're going to be sorry because they can reach back in time. The SEC doesn't think about what you're doing now. They have a 20-year time frame. You raise money and you don't pay it back, they can reach back. Not you got away with it. Did you get away with it for 20 years? That's what this is about. Not Bernie Madoff type schemes. What are you delivering? And eventually, they're going to start tidying this up. And there are big penalties for these things. So, why do you do this? What are you actually delivering? When you fail, did you try? Did you actually build anything? Did you invest or just give yourself a big salary? Tokens enable something miraculous if done right. They enable a world where every person in this bloody globe, not just someone in a little area in Silicon Valley, can start trading. When someone in Ghana can write code, design, build. When we start getting into a world of 3D printing, which is coming, not just rapid prototyping, local areas. Nike now prints shoes. They have lights out factories. Right now, these are big, expensive things. They won't be in a few years' time. When you want to have a pair of Nike shoes printed in your local area to your design, that will happen. When you want something that you own, it will happen. When you want to start knowing that that thing that you bought is no longer a knockoff, that's what tokens can start delivering. Not, can I raise money because I want to raise money? Why? What real-world good are you opening up? They make luxury services available to all. Everything that is a luxury now used to be something different that was not there. Everything that is common now used to be a luxury. Toilets were a luxury 100 years ago. Victorian England, if you had a flush toilet, you were rich. Now, no one would buy a house in the West without a toilet. That's what capitalism does. That's what this does. That's what we're seeking. Tokens do better than free. You pay for the services you need, you trade anywhere. Imagine that poor guy in the middle of Venezuela who wants to earn some money and be able to live and trade and do something. Now they can write an article. Now they can design something and own the digital rights to it and have someone print it anywhere on Earth. That's what this is really about. The ability for anyone to get out there and do something and promote something of substance and to compete on merit. Not with government handouts, not with government subsidies, not because they inherited wealth, because they do it better. They work harder. They work smarter. That's what tokens will deliver. The true gains of the digital economy aren't yet. They will be when we have everything able to be taken anywhere and used anywhere. An example, I read an article in The Economist about Versace. If you're buying goods that are luxury goods, right now what will generally happen is they will make extra runs. So they'll be made in the same manufacturing plant, the same everything else. Why not tokenize luxury goods? People know whether you've got a fake or a real one because it's easy, they can tell. The only reason people wear Gucci is to say, I wear Gucci. And if you're wearing Gucci that's not real Gucci and people know you're wearing a fake, then you're not going to be wearing fake Gucci, are you? If you want to have a brand of watch and it's a fake, people will know. That's the whole idea. Next, just in time. We have a revolution in the last few years. Since the 40s, between the US, Japan, whatever else, we have this technology called just in time that everyone seems to not really think about anymore. If you make cars, you make anything else, you care about when your parts get in. You care about your product. How about we tokenize the transfer of goods? We watch things as they move back and forwards. We start them moving across the network and we know when they're going to be there so that we can actually save money. Not only now for Toyota, everyone, anywhere, knowing that your goods are actually on the way to you, knowing that you need a replacement, being able to trace, track, and find. Think of not the way Uber works for delivery with little pictures of where the things are, but every good that you need for your business, knowing that if something gets lost, delayed, whatever else, you can find it. Imagine what that does for an economy. Finding that you're not going to have to make excuses to customers because you know exactly where your goods are. And if they are held up, you can get another one from somewhere else beforehand. Factories of the future are not going to be what we have now. We are going to see manufacturing more and more automated. Like it or not, robotics is here to stay. And in 20 years' time, if you're a factory worker, I'm sorry, you need a different job. You have 20 years or you're not going to have anything. Reskill. There is a long time to find many, many different things to do. It's the same if you were a gleaner or a farrier or any number of other jobs in the last 100 years that have totally disappeared. That's what's going to happen again. We're going to start delivering bespoke solutions. That means order things the way you want, not just because you have money. We've always had the ability for bespoke solutions, if you had enough money. In the future, it'll be anyone, anything they want. We're getting a richer world, a more connected world. This is what we're aiming to deliver. Question: what is it we're seeking to achieve? If what you're doing is, I want to raise money, I don't care. You're boring. That simple. Why? What are we computing? Why are we computing it? Are we just running numbers for the sake of running numbers? Are we making money because, well, making money's nice? Or are we actually trying to do something? The whole purpose of what really drives a capitalist economy is delivery to consumers. Finding a way to actually get people who consume to have goods. Goods and services. That's what we're trying to do. Not, I, the producer, want money. That might be an outcome that we all want. Yes, we want to have better lives. Yes, we want to live better. But what are you doing to achieve it? How are you trying to get there? What we're trying to do is solve real-world needs. When you invent something, you don't do it because, well, it would be nice to have money in my pocket and I just want money. Give me money. That's probably 99% of ICOs right at the moment. And trust me, I'll be doing my best and utmost in the next year to kill them. I will be helping politicians, I will be helping legislators, I will be helping lawyers understand what you're doing. If you're just raising money to raise money and you have no end goal, you're a scam. If you want to raise money to do something, then you raise money to do something. And you would raise money whether you have an ICO or not. An ICO might be a simpler, better way of doing it for many people. Automation of share markets, automation of registries might be a better way of many things. Decentralized registries, great idea. But if that's all you want to do, then time to start thinking something new. Everything we can, everything, I don't care what you say is out there, can be a service right now. There is not a thing on this earth that cannot be made into a service. And a tokenized economy allows that. Anything, whether you want to fly a plane, whether you want an experience, anything will be made into a service. Rather than having to own things, you will do what you want at the time based on what you can afford, which doesn't mean what you want full stop. It means based on what you're willing to pay. So, we're going to see these things turned into services. And we're going to deliver what the consumer's needs are better. That means more choice. For the socialists out there, more waste. In Russia, one of the things they used to do is complain about how there were all these different cereals in the West. You'd go into a Western supermarket and people would go, why would you need 20 different types of breakfast cereal? Actually, probably closer to 20,000 these days, but the reality is because people have choice. Making one thing for everyone doesn't work. One car for everyone doesn't work. All of us are individuals, whether we like to admit that or not. And that means we have choice. And as we can start customizing that choice, then we're happier. And in future, when we can start delivering more choice, we're going to have happier customers. Happier consumers come back and they spend money again and again. Notice this? Keep spending, keep buying, keep an economy rolling. Bitcoin, without value, is something you hoodle. Bitcoin you use, Bitcoin you spend with, Bitcoin as a cash platform, like it was always designed, that matters because then you have value. When you trade with people, that's about value. Both people win in any exchange. No one exchanges freely unless they both see value. When two parties exchange goods or money or services or whatever else, they do it because one values the thing they have versus the thing the other person has more, and the same both ways. So there is no universal price for everything. There is a price I will pay and the price you will pay, and they always differ subjectively. So, tokens deliver that to us. They allow us to get there. They allow us to start thinking of a way of doing new business, of having on-demand services, of staying in hotels or staying in Airbnb type places, of staying wherever we want, of buying goods, services, using things, going on a holiday. I mean, years ago I owned a boat. One thing I found from owning a boat is it's a big hole in the water that you throw money into, literally. So now, if I want to go on a boat, I charter one, for the simple fact that, well, someone else now has to look after that. And unlike when I owned a boat, it doesn't sit there idle for basically 3 weeks out of every month. It actually does something. Other people then who are charterers put it out there and more people use it. Most charter boats, especially in summer and things like that, are used all the time. They get filled up. There's a reason for that. Because, well, you start marketing down to the price that is most effective to keep it active. In winter, it's cheaper because people don't want to go out around the Greek islands in winter. Strangely enough, it's cold. So it fits the price consumers pay. And overall, that's how we start making money. We start it circulating, not holding. If everyone just has a pile of gold that they have in their room and they sit and they go, "Oh, I'm rich," then we're not rich. Money is not what people seem to think in this industry. Money is a call on future goods and services. And if no one makes more future goods and services, your money's worthless. Money is only worthwhile when future goods and services are there, when we produce, when we create, when we build. So, mobility, what, where, and when. We want to be able to have what we need wherever we are. This is a world that is becoming more and more global. That is a good thing. We can start trading anywhere, with anyone. As we start trading with people, we start building relationships and having to understand them. When we want to start actually understanding our customers in different parts of the world, then we start to be exposed to different culture, different ways of life, different ways of doing things. It opens us up and we all grow as people, as humans. We don't become so isolated and insular. So, what are we doing? Things that include this: ensure reliability. If we know where goods are, people sign in, cargo delivery, trucking. So, how do I tie this to Bitcoin Cash? Because quite simply, we're going to be starting to announce things later this year, some coming up in May, some after that. We're going to start teaching you how everything you thought about Bitcoin is probably wrong. We're going to teach you how to do atomic swaps. And I'm not going to tell you how right now because patent pending, blah, blah, blah. I can buy and sell Ethereum for Dash inside Bitcoin today. I can make exchanges obsolete if you're crypto to crypto. So there's something to think about. Right now, I can do a peer-to-peer exchange of Ethereum and Dash on Bitcoin Cash. And we're going to actually start releasing something of this. We're going to have people build this, not everything ourselves. So if you're just a crypto exchange, and that's all you do, not a fiat so that people can get money in and out, we're going to make you obsolete. Not so that we make money out of it, so that we start people trading. I'm going to allow people anywhere with no trust to start trading anything that is tokenized. And we're going to allow you to tokenize anything. Not in Ethereum ERC20 contracts, in something that is a real smart contract. And I don't give a rat's what you call Ethereum. It is not a smart contract. It is basically a tokenization. How do I list a security scheme? I will allow, and what we're going to release, a way of having untrusted oracles somewhere give you information and having code that evolves. PSOs, evolutionary code, smart contracts. That's what we're going to deliver on Bitcoin Cash. And you'll say, you can't do that. I'll say, watch. You'll say, you can't trade these things securely. I'm going to tell you, watch. You're going to sit there on your exchanges going, you need a trusted third party. I'm going to tell you, bullshit. And if you don't like it, stiff bickies, we're going to release it. That simple. And I don't care because, guess what? I don't want your money. There's my scam. I'm not going to take a cent from anyone. I don't take a cent to present. I don't take it for anything. I don't need it. So, if you want to be out there and you think that raising money to make a new crypto exchange is a great idea, think again. If you can get in there quick enough, go for it. If you can make money, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just going to basically outcompete you. We're going to release freely a whole lot of things that make all that you're doing there obsolete. But we're going to make tokenization about what it's meant to be, where I can put every chip on a circuit board into a Merkle tree that goes down into a laptop. So I know if you changed a single resistor in your computer, I will, as a manufacturer, know. I will be able to trace every board, every circuit, everything ever for history, and I will know. As a manufacturer, I can watch when it goes between any customer. I can have it dial back home. If you steal my laptop, it's a brick. That simple. We'll have a world where if you steal something from me, unless it's raw elements like gold, forget it. We're going to have a world where if I have designer jeans with an RFID tag, you'll know. If I have a phone, it will be recorded to me. If I hand it to you, it will be recorded and tokenized, and you will know. And everything will be pseudonymous. I will know, you will know, and we'll be able to record it and track it and know everywhere it's ever been, but only the people involved, no more. What are we looking at? We've got all these things in travel. Travel is a nice, easy industry. Amazon releases something to a courier. That courier travels, delivers it to me. How about if every single track, every trace is always there? Not, I've bought a laptop, but I know which particular serial number I get. I have everything recorded. I know if someone takes my thing and tries to sell it in a pawn shop, anywhere on earth. That's what tokenization will deliver. Not, I want to raise another ICO. Imagine a world where there's real end-to-end tracking, tracing, commerce, sales, everything. Where 20 years from now, if someone's stolen your phone, ever turns it on again, you have evidence that will stand up in court. That's what tokenization should deliver. Medical services. With certain technologies, we will allow access over basically Bitcoin Cash to individual records. Right now, if you go into a US hospital, approximately 1,049 people on average see your medical record. Everything. We have technology that we've been patenting that will allow access for everyone who's ever done it that is recorded to the particular file. You will only be able to access that medical file. Not everything ever. One document, the one you're authorized to. That's it. That's what we can do. Advertising. We're working now with an organization that's building an advertising system, and we'll tokenize that. Retail. Knowing when things go off. That carton of milk. Being able to track and trace right down to when things expire. That's what tokenization should be. It's about building something that actually delivers value. Do we actually understand that? Not, I want more money, I want to be rich. It is not about, I want to be rich. And yes, I'm an arsehole. I'm sitting up here, I'm rich, and I'm saying, you shouldn't be thinking, I want to be rich. And I'll say that. I'm rich enough never to work again in my life. I'm rich enough to have 1,000 lives of never working again in my life. And yet I work 80 to 100-hour weeks, every week. I'm doing 2 more PhDs, literally, right at the moment, simultaneously as I work. It is proof of work, not proof of I want something, proof of work. And if you don't get that, watch the next 2 years. You're going to have some eye-openers. And I don't really give a rat's if people hate me for it. I care if people develop, deliver, and create. And if you don't want to develop, deliver, and create, we're going to make a world where you're going to have to. That's what we're going to bring. Thank you.